Ian Lee, CNN, Gaza City.
And Chad Classen joining us now with a look ahead to sports. Disappointing weekend for the Broncos.
Yeah, not a good showing for the Broncos on Saturday, playing the powerhouse Okanagan Sun. We'll have highlights of that. Also, day 4 at Blazers training camp as they prepare for the big annual blue and white game tomorrow. And also one Canadian advancing at the U.S. Open. That's all coming up in sports. At 3-0, the Kamloops Broncos had their first ever 3-game winning streak coming into Week 5 of the BCFC season. They've put together the most wins in a season since going 3-7 in 2010. But their three wins came against teams that were a combined 1-7 going into Week 5 of the year. Saturday's matchup with the powerhouse Okanagan Sun was a whole different beast.
Number 19, wide receiver, Jesse Neufeld.
Over 1,000 fans from Kamloops and Kelowna in attendance for the much-anticipated Sun-Broncos matchup. Kamloops get a break early. After their first possession fails, they get the ball back. Sun returner Dexter Janke touches it, and the Broncos recover the live ball. But Steve Schuweiler not sharp early. He misses Corey Rawlings wide open on the far sideline. Broncos have to settle for a field goal, 3-0. On the ensuing kickoff, Janke with a massive return up the sidelines. He breaks a couple tackles, finally taken down at the Kamloops 44. And a couple plays later, the pocket breaks down, but it's Cam Bador who takes it in himself. The Sun go up 7-3. Okanagan's defense on the other side, stifling the Broncos, who had no kind of running game in the first half. Then it's Schuweiler giving the Sun a gift. He avoids the sack and throws it up to JT Fernandez. The running back turned linebacker gets the pick. The Sun lead 9-3 after 1. In the second, more Broncos giveaways. They go for it on third down inside their own end. Palmer runs into Sheldon Brown, similar to the infamous butt fumble by the Jets a couple years ago, and the Sun are on it. Next play, Bador goes to the air looking for Pierre-Luc Lord, who comes up with a catch, takes it down to the 1. Then it's Casey Russell who cleans up, finds his way into the end zone, 19-3 Okanagan. But the Broncos aren't finished, thanks in part to 3 straight penalties by the Sun. Kamloops march it inside the 10, and it's Derek Yatchison who takes it into the house, 19-10. Then the Broncos go for some trickery on the kickoff, and they get the onside kick as Brody Bernier is the last to touch the ball. But the Broncos only get a field goal after Schuweiler just misses Rawlings again at the back of the end zone. It's 19-13. But the Sun put back-to-back impressive drives together going into the half. The first sees Dylan Fortune go 29 yards to the house, 26-13. Then on the next drive, after a Schuweiler interception, it's Alex Bradley who breaks a couple tackles on his way to a 17-yard score, 33-13 at the break, and the Sun go on to win it in a blowout 54-16.
I love what our offense did. I love the fact that so far this year we've been able to run the ball and break someone's will every game. We really run the ball well. Kids are working hard up front, and we were off on the pass tonight, but we sure ran the ball well, probably 250 yards, so I'm really pleased with that.
It's very disappointing seeing them gash us up the middle, right our heart of our defense, and you know, them out physicaling us, and it wasn't fun. It's we got to be, you know, we have to be physical, and to play especially with these guys, it's a part of the game, and our kids didn't come prepared. They were prepared for how physical it was going to be. They just didn't execute on what they were supposed to get done.
With their first loss of the year, the Broncos dropped to a tie for second place at 3-1 with the Langley Rams. Their next opponent coming up on Sunday afternoon in Langley. Meanwhile, the Okanagan Sun move up to first place in the BCFC at 4-1 going into their bye week. The Valley Huskers are still winless at 0-5 after the weekend. It's day 4 of Blazers training camp down at the ISC. The team's down to 42 players and 2 teams for tomorrow night's blue and white game. And while the attention is on the return of Don Hay back to Kamloops, it will ultimately be up to the veterans to lead the Blazers back to the playoffs. Matt Needham returns as captain, and his partner in crime, Cole Yulee, is looking to build on his first 30-goal season in the Western Hockey League. These faces of the franchise are a year older and ready to help put all the losing behind them. When Cole Yulee and Matt Needham first broke into the Western Hockey League, they had a supporting cast with the likes of Colin Smith, J.C. Lapon, and Brendan Ranford. But that all changed last year. Needham was given the captaincy at 18 with a very young team on his shoulders.
It was disappointing. It definitely was disappointing, especially being here for my first 2 years, having such strong teams. But it's something that happens in the league, and I think it was a good learning thing for everyone. It's something you don't want to have to do again, so it's kind of a little platform where you want to build off of.
Needham himself struggled with injuries with a cracked tibia and a Charlie horse. He was in and out of the lineup, only playing 48 games last year.
I think Matt really battled injuries a lot last year, and he was given the captains at the start of the year. Maybe he wasn't quite ready for that yet. It's a tough responsibility for an 18-year-old player to handle that, but I think that definitely he'll be mature enough and ready this year to handle it. So what I'm looking for Matt is just to have a really healthy, good training camp.
Meanwhile, Yulee's coming off a healthy season, playing all but 3 games. He put up a career-high 30 goals and 42 assists. And already he's been told by new head coach Don Hay that he has to continue that progression as a leader on and off the ice.
Just to be a leader and come out here and teach the young guys. And expectations are way higher than last year, and we know that isn't acceptable. And with him here and the few acquisitions we made and the guys getting older, it should be a better year, and he expects that from us.
Cole is a very skilled player, and he had great success 2 years ago when he was playing with real top-end players, and now we'd like to see Cole be that top-end player. We'd like to see Cole be the guy that makes the difference every night, to be the guy that's counted on to score the big goal at a critical time in the game.
And that's what your veteran players are there for, to make a big play when the game's on the line. It's something Smith, Lapon, and Ranford did consistently. And now it's Yulee and Needham's turn.
We're going to be guys that are leaned on even more than last year, so we need to have a good year in this league. Your older guys have to be the ones that get into the playoffs and take you places.
Merritt's own Roger Sloan will finally be able to live out his dream of playing on the PGA Tour. The 27-year-old officially has his PGA Tour card after finishing 24th on the Web.com Tour following the season's final event yesterday. Sloan didn't make the cut after a 76 in round two of the Winco Food Portland Open on Friday, but it was enough to keep him in the top 25, earning him his PGA Tour card. Sloan grew up in Merritt, honing his craft at the Merritt Golf and Country Club. Appropriately, he won his first professional event at Rivershore, the 2011 PGA Tour Canada Western Championship. On the Web.com Tour in the last 2 years, Sloan has worked on his game looking for that big break. It came in July when Sloan won the Nova Scotia Open in a playoff, moving him from 80th to 12th on the money list. Sloan will now be eligible to play on the tour next year. Staying on the links, it's been one of the worst seasons, or the worst season in Tiger Woods' professional career. No wins in 2014 after 5 victories last year. He's missed 2 cuts this year, including the PGA Championship 2 weeks ago. And now Woods is giving the axe to his Canadian swing coach after 4 years and no majors. Woods said on his website today he will no longer work with Canadian Sean Foley. He's been coping with back problems for more than a year. The 38-year-old had surgery March 31st to alleviate a pinched nerve, forcing him to miss 2 majors during 3 months of the recovery. He withdrew from the Masters and U.S. Opens and had his worst 72-hole finish at the British Open in July, just his 2nd tournament since the back surgery. The final Grand Slam of the tennis season is underway at Flushing Meadows in New York. The men's side is without defending champion Rafael Nadal, who suffered an injury in July, but there were 5 Canadians in action today. Vasek Pospisil up against Italy's Simone Bolelli. Pospisil would win the first set. Here he's up 2-0. He gets the cross-court winner. He takes it handily 6-2. But Bolelli wins the second and the match to eliminate Pospisil. But good news, Milos Raonic was the only Canadian to advance out of the top 5 starters, defeating Japan's Tiro Daniel in straight sets today, 6-3, 6-2, and 7-6. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Eugenie Bouchard starts her U.S. Open tournament tomorrow. There are no guarantees in life, and the same applies to sports. But when Lions president Dennis Skalski boldly guaranteed a win Sunday against Saskatchewan, it fueled a fire in the Riders' locker room, who came in having won 4 in a row. But it's the reigning special teams player of the week, getting the Lions off to a great start. Tim Brown going 75 yards to the house. The Lions up 10-0. The guarantee is looking good. But the Riders have an unlikely hero, D lineman Dan Clark with an unreal catch, and Saskatchewan spoils the party in a 2016 win at BC Place.
The final score, Rough Riders.
We had an excellent start to the game, and we had the special teams really rolling tonight, giving us a chance. 13-9 at halftime, and a difference in the second half. They score 11, we score 3. In a tight football game against a good group like that, you got to find a way to make plays, and we're going to do that today, and it didn't matter who it was.
First off, we're going to honor exactly what we said. Everybody who was in this stadium today who bought a ticket or had a complimentary ticket will have their choice to come back in one of our 4 remaining home games. The question is, would I do it all over again? Absolutely.
With Kevin Glenn knocked out of the game in the 4th quarter and Travis Lulay coming in, now the question is who starts 2 weeks from now when the Lions face the Ottawa Redblacks in Ottawa after the bye week. If you have a comment or story idea for sports, contact us at sports@cfjctv.com. I can be followed on Twitter @Klassen87, and you can get sports on demand at cfjctv.com.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, the funny part to that is Earl does not like it when people touch his chair.
Exactly.
Like when you come in the newsroom, you can't touch it. It
like
has to be
personal space.
And he won't sit on anyone else's chair. It has to be his chair. So the fact they took it outside at 3 o'clock in the morning with this Old Spice, of course, and dumped it over their head, that was hilarious.
I know.
So, good on them. Yeah.
It has time to dry us off for a week or so anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, before we go quickly, we're out of time. Katie, you haven't done it yet, so let's just put that out there. Katie hasn't done the challenge yet.
I have not yet.
Okay, we're out of time. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.